The purpose of this podcast is to spread high-quality information about life and business to the community, and just to have fun. In this episode, we have Josh Franks, and we talk about what are NPCs, how do you break free from an NPC, and my own personal story from breaking free from being an NPC, and practical principles you can apply right now. So let's get to it. This is my first episode here, what was I thinking? I was actually thinking of the name. You were actually saying something when it comes down to the name, breaking free, and I actually thought of a name right now from a song, and it was called "From the Doors," and it's "Break On Through to the Other Side."
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. There's something about that when you said breaking through, and I was like, you know what? That makes sense. Like breaking through to the other side, and it really means, what we were just having with Connor, Josh, is that kind of conversation is really going to the complete other side of what he calls NPCs, right? Which is like being programmed or being conditioned. I'll have to look it up exactly what that means.
What is that?
I don't know. It's
Let me see.
Look it up. I don't.
What was it?
NPCs? NPC. Yeah, NPC. NPC.
I thought player was last. Non-something player.
Put NPC or if not NCP. But I know it was NPCs. That's exactly how he said it.
Let me see. Let's see what this.
And really what Connor was saying is like being controlled.
Okay.
Not thinking. What is it? So what is the definition?
NPC, non-player character, is any character in a game that is not controlled by a player. So people are like walking around. They don't even have it's automatons.
Right. It's okay. So a good example would be a really good example would be what is it? A good example would be a video game. So when you play player 1, player 2, and then you got an option to put computer players. Yeah, computer players.
And you can it's automatic.
It's automatic, and you could choose their difficulty mode to easy, normal, hard, or super hard.
Yeah, or your the game you're playing against.
Yes, exactly. So, anyways,
it's turned up by the system. Ooh. Or turned down.
That's right.
According to some people, that's what it seems like. It's like they can just be turned on, or turned off,
right,
by a simple word.
Yep. And
they don't question anything.
That's true.
But, in these politics and, different stuff, man. Not to say some of this stuff doesn't kind of, eke me or whatever, but, I think people allow their emotions to rule and not, and don't even think about anything else,
Right. No, absolutely.
It's an emotional play.
Absolutely. Oh, and by the way, we are in if you're listening to this, we're at a coffee shop, so you're hearing all this background noise. There's definitely going to be people making coffee in the background. I mean, we're just filming. Literally, we have a camera. If you're watching this now, you can see me, but it's literally we put a camera. We're right here at a coffee shop, and it's totally out of our comfort zone. Just doing this, and I mean, we got the whole stands. I mean, full on podcast station at a Starbucks. So they turned down the music for us. Thank you.
Yeah,
and we really do appreciate it, but. I didn't want to make up excuses, and
I'm glad you did. I came in. I'm like, huh?
Are
we going this full out over here?
I'm not
People
doing
are
it.
Like, huh?
I'm not doing
there's
it.
Some discomfort. But anyway,
it's all good. Here's why I'm doing this podcast. Here's why I started this as the first episode. It's really important that I say this because that's the reason why we'll keep moving on forward. The name for the podcast is going to be probably something that you just said, break on through, break on through to the other side. Breaking free. The other thing, why I'm doing this and why I decided to do this, obviously Josh Franks has been mentoring me for the last 3, 4, I want to say like three nice years, maybe 4, give or take, and really has inspired me to do my own thing in the video production business. And really in life, if they're both kind of the same thing, and they're really just it's it's a reflection of what I do and who I am, and it really reflects everything. So everything I've been learning is from Josh. So some of the things that we've been talking about, and we've been talking about this for like years and years and years, and the reason I'm doing this is because I'm doing a disservice for my friends, my family, and not really giving them this information that I have that I should have been doing a long time ago. And it's not fair. It's really not fair, because maybe if you know me or who I am, or if you know Josh, and you probably see him in the outside, you know, you see Josh, he owns a detail shop, and you might even look at it and it looks super intimidating. Looks like I would never go through that guy. I would never talk to this guy. But you start to dive deep into Josh, and you're like, no, he's really down to earth. He loves talking about business. He loves talking about life. He loves talking about giving, his faith, and what he believes in, and vice versa. It's like the same thing. What you see in social media, or whatever, however you perceive me, there's a deeper side of me that I don't talk about. This is the conversations me and him talk about. And anyways, that's the introduction for Josh, but this is why I'm doing it. And so tell me, Josh, being on the first episode, tell me about yourself. What is it that what's it like being in this podcast? Actually, how does it feel? How does it feel to be?
It feels good. Like I said, it was kind of funny coming in, seeing you all set up like this. Just so you guys know, I mean, he's literally got like big old long microphone stands and all this stuff. Anyway, and it was funny, but I'm really glad you're doing this, because it's like, just like I told you, I'm really glad to share a lot of this information. Most people are going to go their whole life and not get a lot of information like this, and it's hard to find really strong, valuable information. I'm glad you could receive it from me, what I've learned so far. Not that I'm like anything special, but I feel extremely honored that I was able to learn some of this stuff, and I stayed humble enough. I was humble enough to learn it myself, and it was awesome to be able to share it with you, because you saw the reward for me, you saw what I was doing, and you understood it. Now I'm really glad you took it and ran and are doing what I requested you, and that's, if you appreciated the information I shared, that you would share it with other people, because that is, you're doing right now what I wanted you to do from the beginning. And I know you're doing it, not just with this podcast, but person to person. So that's awesome. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Honoring what I asked you from the beginning.
What was it? It's funny because I actually said this to other people. There's a good friend of mine, and she's like a family friend, and I give her a laptop, and I remember how her reaction is like, it's like way over her. This is expensive laptop or whatever, brand new laptop. And she's like, hey, Glenn, how can I pay you back? And it's that kind of our reaction. Like, how do we pay you back immediately? Or how do we pay you back like this?
You feel indebted.
Yeah, but the thing Josh taught me was very important. Okay, you know how you can pay me back? Go pay it forward for somebody else, right? And that's exactly what I did. I was like, hey, you know what? You want to pay me back?
Do something for someone else.
Yeah, even if it's simple. I was like, if you can't do knowledge, if you can't do this, just go buy somebody some groceries. Go buy somebody a cup of coffee. Do something so small that it's not so intimidating.
Yes.
That I will be happy with that. Even if you start small. You don't have to start big. You don't have to go give somebody else a laptop. That will come over time if you keep practicing at a small step.
Yeah, if you don't have money or whatever, there's little things you can do for people that will make a dramatic difference, in their life. Mm-hmm. People, people don't realize how many blessings they have right in front of them that somebody else would give up so much to be enjoying what me and you have right now. There's so much need in the world, and there's always a time where we're going to be in need. Something will happen, whatever, and I feel it's like I share with you, it's important to support people as best as we can, man. That when it comes down to it, it's, unfortunately, we're taught to be extremely selfish in the world and forget people. But you know what? COVID showed us, many things will show us that we're all connected. If you like it or not, we're all family, man. And and when we treat each other like that, man, the world turns into an amazing place. When you have, when you recognize that we're just family, and you can have an amazing positive impact on the people around you. And what ends up happening is, people don't realize when you do that, automatically reciprocity is in the work. You're planting seeds in your life. Your life is like a farmland. And either good or bad, whatever you plant in the ground is going to grow. It grows automatically. Whatever you spend your time doing, whatever you do. And so if you start planting good things, you start planting helping others, you start planting learning practical things, you start planting good health and planting these kind of things, you're going to reap it. So I'm really glad you took advantage of that. And, I think,
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
You're enjoying the benefits now, and you're seeing what I'm talking about. It's just, and it gives you peace, man.
It really does.
People have a lot of money, but they don't have peace.
Yeah, it's something we try to chase, or we try to. And I was there too. Like, I remember, like, even when I first started my business, that's all I would think about: my money. Oh my gosh, I need to pay this. I need to pay that. But every time I thought like that, I would always go backwards. I would always go backwards.
Ooh,
I would always
really?
go backwards all the time. I'm like, I'm not making enough. And now, and it still pops, it still creeps up every once in a while. Like, it'll creep up, like, I don't know if I should pay this for a new lens, for a new equipment. And really going back to, like, it's a broke mindset. And really, it's more of
scarcity.
Like,
scarcity mindset versus abundance mindset.
Exactly, because it's an investment. It's something that's going to benefit others. It's actually going to make you look better. It's going to, like, all these little details. And no, absolutely. Like, it's just the way somebody thinks is really, really important. You're right. Yeah, absolutely right.
No matter anybody listen to this, whatever you're spending your time doing, whatever you spend your money doing, it's an investment, either for positive or negative. So if what you're doing and what you're spending time on, what you're spending money on, the people you're with, all these things, you're going to have a reward, either good or bad, whatever it is. And if you don't like where you are, you don't like what you're getting, switch it up, break it, test something new.
That's right.
Test something new, try something new. I know a lot of people think different things are cool and this and that, and they enjoy it for a while, but then, things happen, life changes, and you start to sometimes dig deep into people's character. You keep doing some of the same things over and over, the same people, same, spending habits, whatever. You start reaping bad stuff, and you get stuck.
Oh, yeah.
You get stuck, man. It's like, hey, test it. Test something else. What? Test something else. Break out of that stuff. And try something else.
That's funny you say that, because that is something I do all the time now because of Josh. It's because I literally have been testing everything. So even with my business, right, doing the film industry, getting into the video production, I do everything right now. And I'm almost narrowing it down finally to being like, hey, test this. Like, I'm still open to almost everything when it comes to, like, real estate photography, when it comes to doing short films, when it comes to doing 30-second commercials, when it comes to filming podcasts, when it comes to whatever the case may be that's related to the film industry. But I'm finding out what works for me and what do I value. What are the things that are going to be beneficial for me? And then I just start cutting things out. Hey, you know what? I don't like... 30-second commercials. I'm going to cut that out. I'm only going to focus on short films, and I'm just going to maximize my strength on just one thing so I can get better. And really but I'm testing things. I'm still testing things because the way it feels, or maybe it's just testing, and I'm just trusting my intuition, and really, really, that's something I've been learning from Josh, is just testing everything, even with people, even with I don't like to say clients, but you know what I mean. Just like with people, working with people, relationships, like always testing it. It's like going out on a date. Really, it's like you go on a date, you go on a second date, you go on a third date, with anything, a service, product, or a person, and you're just kind of testing the waters, right? Yeah. So no, that's something I've learned from you. It's big time, huge.
Yeah, testing. People get. I heard it said. What is it? Persistence is going the right way and not stopping, but stubbornness is going the wrong way and not stopping. And so, I find that it's like, unfortunately, we're not taught to change. We're not taught. It's so valuable. If somebody can pick that up, I mean, that by itself is worth $1 million. If you can learn to change yourself and do something different, oh my gosh, the whole world's going to open up, man. The world's going to open up. Most people are stuck going in one direction. And that train's going so fast, they don't know how to put on the brakes or whatever. Because it would put everything at risk.
So true. Yep.
It puts everything at risk. Here's the thing, this podcast, somebody listen to this, you might be hearing some of this information and you're like, if I keep receiving this information, it's going to require me to change. And that could risk you having to change your social group, the people you're associating with. It might have to hang in the balance, man. Yeah. Things might have to hang in the balance. You might have to change whatever, a belief.
Right.
You might have to, it's going to challenge things, But it's like, what is it going to come down to? And this was, what it comes down to is, can you be real with yourself? Mm-hmm. Man, I was listening to this this video. This girl, you could tell she was like in deep, like, kind of culture. Deep culture, and like party culture and stuff like that, and she was single, and she wanted to be with a guy, and the guy just simply asked her, "What can you offer me?" And she was like, it was just the way he said it. She was like, she had a revelation. She was like, okay, I can give him, intimacy. We can go out, I can give him kind of minimal things, but I really can't back him up as a woman and be really a good woman for him. I'm all stressed out about life. I'm all stressed out. I don't. She's like, I'm requiring the world of a man, but I'm not requiring anything of myself. And she came to this revelation. She was like, I hold such high standards, and I want a man to be in shape. I want a man to have a lot of money. I want a man to be well-rounded and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, but I'm not myself. And she said this on a video, dude. I was like, dang. I shared it on my feed. I was like, but when I shared it, I knew there's very few people that would watch that and could share it also.
Right.
Because most people, it's very difficult to be real with themselves. And that was awesome, because I know a lot of things I challenge you with too. There's things that's like, it,
Like what? I don't remember.
Well, there's no, a lot of this kind of information, it's going to go against the grain.
Right, okay.
It's completely against the grain. There wasn't like something I could tell you that you said to me, but it was, you had to change a lot of things.
Oh, yeah. Mindset, emotional.
Yeah. And so did I. I mean, as I was learning it, I had to go through that too.
That's right. Yeah. No,
and break free of the, what is it? The NCP?
MCPs, yeah. Or NPCs.
NPC, yeah.
NPCs, yeah, that's right.
Just the automatic player.
That's right.
Yeah, are you just going to be an automatic player your whole life, people?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
And think about it, like, what you're saying is, like, it's so true, because, like, I was falling into that category over time, but in reality, down deep inside, I still went my own path. There's something like, oh man, I can't say I wish, but I'm grateful that I got to the light bulb really turned on when I was around 27 or 28. September 10th, 2000.
You got the date?
Oh, of course.
Oh, day.
September
okay.
10th, 2018, when I rode my bicycle
yeah.
from Reno to San Francisco, because that broke everything. That realized that really challenged the books. That really challenged everybody's ideas. That really challenged everybody's misconceptions, their doubts, their fears. Because when you're out riding your bicycle, not learn all by yourself, taking the risk.
Yeah, tell them. You need to explain what happened.
So on September 10th, 2018, I decided to ride my bike from Reno, Nevada, USA, to San Francisco, California, USA, and it took me 9 days to get there.
How many miles?
It was 300 miles. And when I got there, it took me 9 days, and I've never been camping at all. So I just went out there, did my own thing. I put all my camping gear. I put all the gear. I put everything I can think of. And then I learned
to prepare.
Right. And then as I was going, I should have not taken many things. You start to learn things. You start to pick.
Did you dump stuff on the way?
I had to.
Oh,
I had to.
You
So
didn't
much
tell
weight.
me that part of the story. Yeah,
There's a little bit of weight.
Yeah,
It's
you
just-
can't carry a house on you. You're like, I want all my luxuries. Nope.
Nope. Exactly.
Ooh.
They weren't crazy, but it's just like you start to notice these things as you go and you progress and you realize like. But you know, one thing
That's got a parallel to it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's right.
If you're gonna do something challenging, you got some extra weight you got to leave
You do.
on the way.
And not only that, you got to learn how to make decisions, major decisions. Like there was a point behind Napa Valley, Lake Berryessa. There's this. I literally took my bike, and it was around, I want to say like 6 p.m. The sun was basically going down. It was hitting the mountains, and I was up on this mountain. And this time I wasn't even riding my bike. I'm literally carrying my bike
around
on a hike, basically, down and then up.
Oh,
And
but it was too rocky.
It was too rocky. It was too steep. And I even prayed. I remember even praying. I was like, because I was so scared.
Ooh.
Because I was like,
You're out in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly.
Did you take the wrong route?
I didn't take the wrong route. I just followed whatever I had on this,
Ooh,
like
on the map.
On the map, and I always took these weird routes because I was like, I'm not going to take the main ones. And
Why not?
Because I read a book from Cliff Bar.
Okay.
And he talks about taking the white roads and taking the red roads.
Wait, Cliff Bar?
The owner of Cliff Bar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the owner of Cliff Bar. He wrote a book, and I remember reading this book. It really inspired me, and he did the exact same thing. Rode his bicycle 27,000 kilometers with his friend, and literally he talked about taking the white roads and the red roads.
Okay.
And in this, what he's explaining is like most people take the red roads where everything's carved, there's a bike lane.
Oh, okay,
everybody goes. It's so common, right? And he decided on his bicycle trail, I'm not taking those roads. I'm going to take the white roads, the most difficult. So if there's it may look like there's something there, a road on my map, but when I got there, I can't just turn back.
And so he kind of got stuck into something like that too.
Exactly. He had to climb a mountain, like literally climb a mountain with his friend, and snowy, all this stuff. But he got to the other side and he figured it out with his friend.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and it's more of like an adventure.
So going from Reno to San Francisco, was it hard enough? We need to make sure we're taking the hardest roads possible.
Exactly, because I was like, why not? Like, that's part of the adventure.
I've never been camping. My bike isn't even made for the mountain. That bike was not. What is that?
It's a night.
You need to put a picture online and show people what that bicycle is.
If you're watching this,
Oh
I'll take a picture of it. I still ride it to this day. I ride it to the gym every single day.
Funny.
1990s Cannondale, old school. It's got the levers, the shifters on the body frame, like on the bottom frame,
in between your legs.
Yeah, no, it's. I even heard one of the guys who you work with, or not who you work with. Your side, Ben.
Oh yeah,
the
bike guy.
The bike guy. He even said like, yeah, most people don't even ride those anymore. Everybody converts.
Well, yeah, because why would you want to shift in the middle when you have it on your handle?
It's so uncommon, but it's
hilarious.
But they're reliable.
If it's high quality,
yeah, they're so easy.
Yeah.
Exactly, they're super reliable and they're easy to change. So if anything happens, you can be able to change it super quick.
Funny. Wow. So, free shout out to Cannondale.
Exactly. Free shout out to Cannondale. So, with that being said, it's like, yeah, once I got to the point to San Francisco, I just felt like this great joy. Like, like a sense of accomplishment. And I remember this video. As soon as it got there, I was like, man, I was just like, I was right behind the bridge. Imagine the bridge right behind you. It's not super dark. It's a sunset. You can hardly see the sun. And I was just like, hey, made it to San Francisco. I was super tired. I was like, hey, anything is possible. Like at that point, I was like, anything is possible.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. It was like,
That's
anything
awesome,
is possible. So,
yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say about the bike trail. Like, what made me change, or was it
That was your turning point.
Exactly.
So like a lot of people now, okay, anybody listening to this, that's a super extreme. That could be something that some people need maybe a lifetime to do, because they're not, they haven't been exposed to much. You did a lot before that, even though you still weren't necessarily thinking as much for yourself, but you had more social strength. You had more experience than a lot of people, in confidence than a lot of people do, I think, growing up. And so I just want to say as a precursor, because there's a lot of people to do that. It seems so far-fetched. Like, I'll be honest, for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's even dramatic. That'd be rough for me too.
right?
Even though I've done a lot of stuff too. That's a huge jump. Okay. But I just want to say in the podcast, to anybody who is listening to this, don't be intimidated by anything. And look, you don't have to do something like that. You can start, there's little things that you can do now that'll start breaking you out of that. And you can stay honest with yourself. Yeah, maybe you don't do something really challenging or whatever, or you make a plan to do something you really want to do, and dude, getting that ball rolling, good luck. It takes persistence, man. Don't expect it just to be rolling by itself. You need time. You need to exercise that muscle. You're not going to lift 500 pounds on the first try. Take your time. Start working it. Yeah, just do little stuff. Don't be intimidated by what Glenn said.
Absolutely. And
Little things.
Here's my secret to here's my secret to how I got over the mountain. Yes, there were some books I read. Yes, there was
Yeah, how long were you reading those books?
for about 3 years straight.
Oh my gosh. See, so you were already,
But
you're envisioning it.
exactly.
I can't believe you did that whole thing. You didn't just go to maybe, up the mountain first.
What do you mean?
You could have just went up to, like, I don't know, Donner.
It was a calling. I mean,
So, but like I said, anybody, if you want to do something like that, you don't have to go the 300 miles the first time.
you really.
Okay.
But check this out.
But if you felt it,
Here's my other secret.
Okay, let's hear it.
Here's why.
Teach me.
Here's why.
That one's a rough one.
Here's
What?
why I got to 300 miles, because I've already done it millions of times.
What do you mean?
So I've never had a car.
Oh,
My
yeah, that's
whole entire
right.
life.
That's right.
From-
See, I don't even bike.
From 18, when I was literally.
I mean,
what is
yeah.
it, 18.
So
maybe
you've been
16?
on a bike constantly. So that does.
Yeah, 16.
That's a precursor to that story.
Exactly.
So that's different. Most people are in a car, whatever.
Exactly. Their whole
walking.
life.
Yeah. If I done that, that would be.
It was all prepped.
Okay,
It was
okay.
I had the muscle for the.
Gotcha. You had the muscle, but your legs,
Oh yeah, exactly.
by the end of this thing, you're riding all day. How'd you feel at the end of it?
Oh, exhausted.
Your legs?
I wasn't too bad. I was.
Yeah, because your legs were prepped.
Yeah,
Dang,
they were prepped.
dude.
They were prepped. It
Those
was.
things took you all the way to San Fran.
I mean, I averaged every day. I averaged 50 miles.
50?
50. It was average.
Wow.
Average.
Nice.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Even going up over the mountain?
Yeah. All total. It was,
Pretty much.
It was like if I.
Because the beginning is slower. You got to go up.
Yeah.
But then going down, it's bumpy, but it's mostly the way down.
But as soon as I got.
Dude, you might. If anybody's listened to this, you might be able to, like, if anybody wanted to do that as a challenge, that'd be amazing. You'd probably at least want to ride your bike constantly for a year or two. But then to do that could help a lot of people, even if you just do something crazy like that.
Exactly. And that's what I was.
Do something like that in
so
your life.
simple. You can go. Okay, let's say you go to work, right? And where I live to where I used to work, that was literally 7 miles,
Oh, was it?
right? 7
And you
miles.
rode it every day?
Every day, 7
Yeah.
miles. That's 14
Dude,
miles
it's so healthy.
there and back. That's,
Dude, it's so healthy, too.
look at that, times 14, times that by what? 10 days? You're already 140.
You did it.
Times that by
No.
2. That's 20 days.
You're right.
You're
Yeah.
basically there already.
You know what's so funny? I put my bike together, and I just rode a few days ago, like from Sparks to Reno, and it took me like whatever an hour. Remember, you came pick me up, and I was like, it felt so good, man. It felt so good. But you know, it's so funny because you really get an idea how far everything is when you're on a bike as compared to a car. You're in a car constantly, you have no idea. Walk it. I dare you.
Right.
See how far it really
Yep.
is. You get a whole different perspective.
Absolutely.
Break that habit. Try it. Take a bike.
That's right.
Take a bike. It doesn't matter if people think you're looking like you're homeless or whatever. It don't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's cool. It is it's actually very satisfying.
It's very satisfying.
Yeah, I gotta say.
Yeah.
And you're enjoying nature if you're by a river or whatever.
And here's some of the misconceptions if you want to know about biking. Oh man, it's so cold. Not true. Not true. If you ride for the first probably
5 minutes.
5 to 10 minutes, yes. But after that, your body starts to warm up, and especially if you have a jacket,
Yeah.
you'll start to sweat.
Yeah,
And
you're
like-
hot in there.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of misconceptions on that.
Dude, that could be like actually such a blessing for America. Imagine if people, like a lot more people were biking
Yeah.
to and from work. That'd be amazing, man.
It's simple. And
That'd
they're
be amazing.
and I would always challenge people, like, when it comes to like climate change or whatever. Okay, you care so much about the climate. Why don't you just ride your bike
Yeah.
from your work and just do do your part. Like that's all you
Yeah.
need to do. It's simple. That's it. Oh no, it's too
And
dangerous.
Don't
Oh,
say
this-
that.
it's
Don't
too-
question people's beliefs and question that they don't do anything about it now.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just
You know,
saying, like, you care so much.
Get offended.
Hey,
oh my
I just
God. I know.
my simple question
I
would
know.
be
Why? Yeah,
My
people have all to say, but they have none of the do.
my simple
No
question.
action.
How do you get to work? That would be my thing.
Yeah.
Okay, you care so much about the climate. How do you get to work?
Yeah,
How do you get to work? Oh, I drive a hybrid. Okay, great job, but
you're still using gas.
you're still using gas. Nothing wrong with that.
If
but-
you're really, and maybe they're working on it, but they don't even say that.
yeah,
They'd never have a goal of
Exactly.
being completely emission free.
and being intentional.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just being intentional. And,
Yeah, have it as a goal if you really
Yeah.
believe in that.
and then people will follow you because they're like, hey, man, I see you do this, and this is
Yeah.
why you do it. Because
Yeah.
you've always believed in it,
Yeah.
and your values are this. And most people thought I did it for climate change, my bicycle. I was like, no, I do it because I love riding my bike.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's like,
Yeah, you grew up doing it and everything.
yeah, like Forrest Gump, hey, he's running around America. He's like, and all the reporters are like, hey, man, why are you doing this for women's rights, for animal cruelty? And he's like, no,
Yeah.
I just felt like running. That's exactly how I feel. I just feel like riding my bike.
yeah.
That's all I do it for. It's because I feel like being a kid, and it makes me feel like I'm being in an adventure. That's the only reason I ride.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, going back to
But yeah, that's a huge breaking point.
that's it. And
What day was it?
September 10th, 2018.
Nice.
I will never forget. I'll never forget.
Sick. That's the day you left.
That's the day I left, and there's so much more to the story. It led me all the way to Israel. It's amazing, but that's another time. I'll tell you the story another time. But
All the way to the other side of the planet.
all the other side,
See, when you break that routine,
and it was so worth it.
you end up breaking a lot more than just that.
Yeah, it gets addicting.
You get opening. Yeah.
It gets really addicting,
Yeah.
and there's no way to go back.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
like once you know, you know. You're just like, it's truth. That's all it is. Like
Yeah.
you really just define your own
Yeah.
truth or whatever it is.
Yeah, define what you know.
You're like, wow, this is what I can do.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Why am I limiting myself?
All these teachers or all these authority figures are telling me that I cannot do something, and then you do it, and then you realize, wait a minute,
You know?
it just gets more addicting, more addicting.
Yeah, I read in a book, it was something like people hear from the day you're born to like 17 or something, you hear no and no you can't something like 35,000 times, and yes you can something like 1,200
It's true.
or something like it's you know.
And I was watching
Such an
another
offset.
podcast. They were saying the same thing.
were they?
But
Yeah.
this time they were saying low income families, you hear more no. But higher income class,
Yeah.
they say yes.
Well, of course.
Encouragement.
Yeah, because
Right.
if you, well, think about it.
The surrounding,
Yeah.
your environment.
Their environment. Everyone's
Exactly.
telling each other, no, you can't do that. No, you can't go in business. No, you
Exactly.
can't. You can't escape this routine. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. You can do anything, and that's
Yeah.
absolutely. And it's not the color of your skin. It's not the age.
Yeah.
It's not any of those things. Like it doesn't matter where you live. You can do anything.
Yeah.
You literally can do anything.
I actually look some of the classes and stuff I've been taking. I'm like, I could show this to my 8-year-old cousin. He could start learning e-commerce now
Yep.
and be learning basics. I mean, like nothing. He could have his own online store. His mom and dad could just co-sign, blah, blah, blah. Dude, he could be blowing them out of the water in a few years with some of the stuff I'm learning. I mean, no problem. They would be making their income. He'd be like, yeah, I made, $150,000 last month. They'd be like, huh? Because he's not limited. I think we really need to go back to a childhood learning style and not be so close to. I think that's, this world makes you hard. It makes you, all those no's build walls. And I hope this podcast helps take down some of those for somebody out there.
Yeah, you're right. It's like that, like a childlike mindset, I guess, or like a childlike
Yeah.
mindset.
Yeah.
Being a kid and really using your imagination to the fullest. Like it really comes down to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You can do anything. You can literally. I think by doing this, like even doing this pod, like going back to like why I'm doing this again, and it's because I can change the world by just this.
I know.
That-
Look at this.
Oh, and I only need one listener. That's all I need. You only need to hear
Yeah.
like one. And guess what I'm doing? Like guess what I've been doing these last 3. We've been talking about this for like at least 2 years. Intentionally, we're like, hey, let's
Yeah.
record, and we've been trying here too.
I know.
Here specifically at every Starbucks, we've been trying.
Yeah.
I was learning
Like,
the
oh,
skill.
it's okay.
I don't have the microphones. We almost left because of the. We're like, no, they're not going to turn on the music.
Oh,
More
they had
excuses.
music in here. Yeah, it
More-
was loud. They
yeah.
turned it off for us. That was awesome.
That was awesome. So it's all these excuses that I can come up with, and it's like no, the intention's there, and now I feel like I'm finally like, hey, I'm doing
See?
something. I'm letting go.
We did it again. Broke the routine.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We're breaking the routine.
Yep.
And like people,
And-
now we're opening opportunity. Because yeah, same thing. You have to learn to do it.
Absolutely.
You have to learn to break those comfort zones, those whatever, those bad habits, and just be like, just shut yourself up, because all those excuses, all these justifications, all these blaming isn't doing us anything. We just need to get down and do it.
That's it.
So
yeah, and then we could have come up with these obstacles would have come.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
the
been
music-
too long.
it's too
Sorry
much.
we haven't.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm doing a disservice
I
for you
should
guys.
have. Well, and I should have been more persistent on your butt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because these conversations are so fun. It's like, gosh,
Yeah.
and I wish, personally, it's like, I wish I had more people to talk to
Right.
sometimes.
Absolutely.
What I've learned. You feel the same
I
way?
know, I know,
see?
I know,
When
I know.
you understand.
It's very rare.
And you catch, when you're reaping fruits that are good, you want to share it.
Because it's so much
like,
funner.
gosh.
It's so much funner. What is it? If you want to go to the top somewhere, it's so much funner with bringing everybody along, like
Yeah.
the friends, and having the same mindset, the vulnerability, and the creativity, the innovation.
Yeah, join us, you guys.
Exactly. This is fun.
Yeah.
Life's cool. Like, yeah, is it hard work? Absolutely. Do I got to wake up early? Absolutely. Do I got to get my work done? Absolutely. Do I have to serve everybody? Absolutely. I get to choose to do all these things now. It's not me. It's not a burden. It's a choice. I get to wake up and be like, hey, this is what I get to do today. I might not even finish my project. I might not even finish this. I might be back down, but at least I got one step closer to getting where I want to be. Like even doing this is one step, and I've been making excuses. Hey Arthur, if you're listening to this, I know you're listening to this, Arthur. I called you up and I told you, hey, I'm going to shoot this on this day, and I'm going to release it on May 7th or 6th or whatever. I'm letting you know, so I'm being accountable. So I know you're listening to this. I'm calling you out from Vegas. So that's me shouting out to you. So here I am being accountable, baby. Come on, yes. What do I always say, Arthur? And what the F? Do whatever it takes. You get it. You understand. It's an inside joke. But anyways, I love you, Arthur. I just want to say that I'm being accountable just for you. So making sure that, hey,
Good.
Thank you for pushing me. And anyway, I called him up and I was like, hey, dude, I'm so sorry. I was supposed to release that podcast like a week ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, and then I called him up. I was like, man, I feel so guilty. Hey, I'm going to do a new one. I'm filming it this Friday. And I'm going to release it next week after this.
Yeah.
Period.
Dude, we're all guilty.
I know.
So people breaking habits, doing stuff new, it takes time.
And then I told my friend, I shoot somebody else's podcast, Andrew Pride Fitness and Movement, and he talks about fitness stuff, and I've been learning a lot from him, believe it or not. He's my coach, and I've been filming all his stuff, but I've been learning more from him because he's a good host. He's becoming a better host over time. I was like, whoa, okay. I remember when he first started, it was like, but after 20 episodes, he's like, hey, how do you do this? Like, I was asking him questions like, hey, how do you know when to like change the rhythm or when to cut it? How do you know? Like, it's just like, oh no, I just, and then he told me, he's like, in the back of his mind is like, every time I walk into a podcast, I'm like, I hope I don't screw this up.
Really?
Yeah, like back of like, oh, he has a fear still.
Well, of course.
Yeah, but it's like, no, everything turns out into like a conversation.
Yeah.
And you start to get loose and whatever. So over time, it's like, he's like, it always gets good right at the end because you start to loosen up. Loosen up.
The best is usually towards the end. Well, not always.
No, not always. Who knows?
But yeah,
so
that makes sense.
Anyways, yeah. So,
yeah.
Any last thoughts, Josh? I do wanna just say, yeah. Any last thoughts? Anything you want to put in for our first episode? Anything you want to add? Within this conversation, NPCs, we talked about NPCs, we talked about the breaking point. Would you want to add your breaking point? Is that something, what was your breaking point? I mean, you run now so Josh runs a detail shop. So if he runs Precision Auto Detailing here in Sparks, Nevada, or Reno, Nevada, and it's super high tech. It's like all these lights, and I've heard all the compliments. I mean, it's like the technology of innovation of detailing, right? It's something else. It really is. It's an experience. It's what you're really going in there. And what got you to that point? Because I got to know Josh when he was just doing mobile service. He was just doing headlights, restoring headlights. And I mean, he was at car dealerships. He showed me how to do it. I don't think you were doing detail, maybe here and there.
No, it wasn't at all.
Not at all.
So when we met, yeah, that's
right. Because then you later got mentored, right?
Yeah.
So what? Even to that point, what was your breaking point? Was it before the headlights? Was it like? It was, wasn't it? Like with Atlantis or?
So.
Or what was it?
In my case, I've had a couple different really strong breaking points. I don't know if you want to record it all right now. Maybe we could do that later and title it. I'd love to share it.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, we'll do the next
more
episode.
Specific. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
But in high school, I had a huge breaking point right before I turned 18. I was doing drugs. I was even dealing and stuff. And at one point, I ran away and almost got shot. A bunch of craziness happened. There was something that happened that they kind of broke me of the natural world, and I started looking at more of the inner world and who we are on the inside. Then, and I devoted a good 10 plus years of my life because of something specific I experienced, supernatural. And so I I devoted my whole life to the inner world, and like I said, and learning who I was and who people are, and I was devoted to that. And then about 4 years ago, I got to a point where I wanted more information about business. I nickel and dime myself. I never considered money at all of any value when I was in the spiritual stuff and the inner world stuff. And then it got to a point where I was like, you know what? I really don't want to just nickel and dime. And I was just kind of tired of it. And I was like, and I prayed. I said, God, can you? I had a headlight restoration business, and I wanted to grow. I wanted to do a little bit more. And so I just prayed. I said, God, please give me information to grow my business. And literally that week, or within a week, I ended up getting amazing information that I was open for. And that really was a huge breaking point as far as financial. I've been really fortunate that I grew up a loner. I was a loner, man, growing up. And so a lot of people get stuck and think that's a bad thing. It can actually be an asset, because you get the opportunity to observe how society works from the outside. So if anybody's on here and you're a loner, it doesn't matter. If you're a loner or you got a lot of friends, both can be destructive, but both can also be constructive. But you should be able to break from one to the other at any given time. You should be able to be alone, or you should be able to be with people comfortably. Because a lot of people have a ton of people around them, but it's fake environment. And nobody's real with themselves. And there's a lack of good character in the people, and they're destructive, and they're killing each other. In the inner world and the outer. Okay? But a lot of people are alone. And that can obviously be destructive too, because we're social animals. We need people. We need support. And, sometimes we're put in that position, either by choice or by not choice. Maybe we grew up in bad situations. We grew up with a lack of support from our family and parents and our friends and anything, and that can be one of the most destructive things. I personally think that's one of the most destructive things in society, is just a lack of support from your family and peers. And, people aren't taking care of each other. You don't have support. It's like, that's right. Yeah. So I see both sides. See this? Yeah. And so both sides can be beneficial. Both sides can be beneficial.
Absolutely.
So, but since I experienced a lot of time alone with myself, I could see, and I never had as dramatic of breaking points as a lot of people do that are highly social and have to go. They didn't, most people, if they're stuck in a social group, it's not worth breaking from it. Right. Now, let me say this. You don't have to break it completely, but there's some things, there's going to be points. If you're going to be real with yourself, you're going to have to be honest. And there may be some people you're going to have to, cut out of the picture. Unfortunately, when it came to my business, I couldn't share some of this stuff with my family because they were too fearful. Right. When I started doing when I started pushing big business stuff, there was nothing but fear. I remember. And so, unfortunately, I had to stop talking with them about that specific thing. Absolutely. You can't share everything with everybody. Be selective.
I learned that from Les Brown. Uh-huh. I remember Les Brown.
Did he say something like that?
Yeah, very similar. He's like, hey, when I'm running, I just talk about running with my running buddies. So,
okay,
right?
Yeah.
When I'm talking about maybe religion, I'm just talking about religion. That's it. No Nothing
with the religious people.
That's it. Period.
Okay.
Right.
You don't talk about.
But when I'm talking with my business people, I'm talking really high level stuff here. Really high, but that and that can go.
Yeah.
That can range.
Yeah.
Like he's like that can range for different because they're high level people thinking, right? But when it comes to like my running buddies, I just talk about running. When I and I apply the same thing. I apply the same thing to certain friends because but I can't. It's not that I can't. I just know. I'm aware of where they're at until they start asking questions and they start really digging deep or really like, it's reciprocal. The conversation is very reciprocal.
Yeah, they can take it.
They can take it, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's as long as it's reciprocal, hey, maybe this can lead somewhere.
Yeah.
Or they're stretching themselves, or vice versa, they're stretching me.
Yep.
Right? Because it's not just about me. I would rather hang out with people that are smarter than me because then they can be able to stretch me. In my thinking, like you.
Yeah.
Right? You think I'm going to hang out with Josh? He makes way more money. You think I want to listen to somebody that doesn't make this much money? I'm like, yeah, I think I want to listen to this guy. He has the results. I see what he's doing. I'm going to copy, and I'm catching up. I'm finally catching up. Like, it took me a little longer, but I'm catching up.
I don't know about longer, but yeah, it's...
But you know what I mean. It's not not the long...
You're doing it.
I'm doing it, exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm finally like, I'm picking up what he's saying, and I'm like, all this information, I'm like, I'm getting closer. Like, I'm understanding the giving. Okay, the more I give, the more I'm going to receive. It's these little principles that I'm learning, and so it's been great. It's been a good journey.
And I'm glad you're not only listening to me, but you keep on. Like I said, you're learning everywhere, and learning from really quality stuff.
Absolutely.
Like I said, keep learning from people from the top. Anybody listen to this? This is what I keep telling him. When you want to learn something, learn from people at the top. And I told him, I said, look, I can't give you a 20, 30 years experience worth of business, but I can give you what I can. But one of the biggest things that I learned from another business guy was to learn from the top. Learn from guys that are way ahead of any industry, anything you want to do in life. And so I see you doing that. Keep doing that. Learn from the best, man. Don't learn from bottom, people that are just starting or a little bit ahead. I know, like I said, I'm glad you took the foundational stuff from me and you're running with it.
Absolutely. And I think I completely agree. I mean, I'm glad I learned the business side of I'm learning the business side of filmmaking. And as an artist, most artists don't learn the business side. They really avoid it. They're very... Go ahead.
They're very technical.
Or too much creative.
Oh, too much creativity.
Too much creativity. There's no structure.
Oh, okay.
Right, and we were talking about that last time.
You know what's so funny? I listen to Spotify, right?
Yeah.
And there's really popular songs on the radio and whatnot. But I took some time, and I was like, but if you keep on searching a genre of music, do you not find amazing songs that you've never heard before?
Absolutely.
And you're like, why isn't this being played?
Absolutely.
So, as much as we have a skill, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to benefit us. Mm-hmm. A high skill. But you need to have the full package and be able to get yourself out there. You got to be diligent on that. And I was thinking about that. I was like, I wish whoever made this song was more diligent to get it out to more people or something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Some of the songs, they're better than the top, or it would be in the top 10.
Absolutely.
Of some of this stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking
about. They write the song well. It's smooth. It's clean. It's cut. And you're like, I wish I didn't have to search so hard to find it. But you're right. It takes more practical skills and more technical skills.
Absolutely. And like we were saying before, though, like finding a mentor, like now I'm looking for, maybe if you're listening, I do film stuff. And now I'm like, I want to aim for making a movie. Like I'm aiming.
Do you?
Yeah, of course. At first I was like, nah. But then I really look at it. It's like, it's such a high goal that I'm like, why isn't anybody making a movie? And I'm seeing all these problems. But it helps me because there's so much, when it comes to filmmaking, I just love like all the layers. I love everything that's involved. And not only that, like, it's not just me. There's a team. And a team loves working on a big project. They love
together.
They love it so much. And I'm like, it's so much funner than trying to make a movie by yourself.
If you had a mentor that that you could go and learn from right now, who would it be?
Christopher Nolan.
Okay.
That's one of them. He's one of the big directors.
Okay, cool.
Who else would be another one?
Why him?
Oh, God. You know what? I love him. I love this guy because he avoids the green screen. He will build everything he can to make this move, like hypothetically, like the lights shift. He'll build an exterior and he'll move an object, like he'll do a construction job, everything to make it feel a certain way. It's like he puts so much effort into like one scene.
Details.
Exactly, that you don't see behind the scenes.
Oh, really?
Right. It wasn't green screen. It wasn't really quick. There's a lot of quality work. There's a lot of thought. So I like the directors that have put a lot of thought into something and doing whatever it takes to be like, hey, what can we do to avoid the green screen? What can we do to avoid the easy route? Let's take the hard route and figure it out. I know we can do it. I know it's going to be challenging. I know it might even cost money, but the end result is going to be so much worth it, because if we don't, then we're
quality is so much higher.
Exactly.
Is it?
Yep. And guess what?
Interesting. Okay.
He gets paid for what he's worth.
Accordingly.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, people keep watching his movies. People keep going back. It's a nonstop thing. So it's like, that's what I want to produce. That's what I love producing.
Who else?
Who else? Another director would be...
So he's your number one pick, huh?
Number one pick, for sure.
Okay.
What's the other guy that I like? Gosh, I guess Steven Spielberg, too.
Sure.
Yeah, because he has a lot of, like, based on... Some of them aren't even based on a true story. I mean, I always thought Forrest Gump was, like, based on a true story.
Oh, really?
Right? Yeah, of course.
It wasn't.
But it wasn't. But the way it was, like, outlined, where, you know, Forrest Gump taught Elvis how to dance, or he was responsible for the Watergate scandal, right, for President Nixon, right? Yeah. Things like that and that movie actually really inspired me. The running part really inspired me to do my bike thing. Like,
oh, really?
That's a huge deal
because you felt that parallel.
Absolutely, I was like,
you're like, ooh, this hits me.
Exactly. So I've always wanted to do something. It's been since I was a kid.
Do you know where he got that the story?
No, I think they're all inspired by, like, all the little scenes are inspired by different people.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure. So
that's cool. Well, you know, maybe someday. Hey, if you guys are listening and you like what you hear with Glenn, you know, as a personal note, I see extreme quality. If you know, put a shout out to them. You know, it's you're doing quality stuff, man, above anything in the city. So it's already.
And I'm challenging the you know, the status quo. Like, I'm challenging, like, I don't want to just be a video production business here in Reno. Like, that's okay. Like, if that's the goal, that's great. But I want to do something that's going to change my community. That's going to be like, hey, I get people involved. Where maybe we get a chance to finally make my first movie in Mexico City, in my own little city, or I can hire all my friends there to help me move the lights, do this. Like, they will be so involved. They don't care if they don't get any money, as long as, hey,
they're part of it.
Like, hey, I just want to be part of it, and I'm still gonna pay him.
Oh, that'd be cool. That would be cool if you did that.
And that's exactly it, because they're willing, as long as, hey, we got everything right. And I'm starting small though, and my theory and more of my philosophy now when it comes to filmmaking, it goes, if you can master a 30-second commercial, a good story with all the layers, music, sound effects, dialogue, whatever you need to do. If you can master 30 seconds, then, okay, then what's next? You can master the 1 minute, and then you can master 1 minute and 30, and then 2 minutes, and so forth, and it just duplicates, and you just get better and better.
Because one scene is only so long.
Exactly.
Once you get it to that point.
So treat every scene, if it's one scene is 1 minute, treat it really good, and then the next one, treat it really good, treat the next one really good, and then there you go. There's your 1 hour and 30-minute movie.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? That brings us back to one of the building principles, which is whatever it is you're working on, do it with all your might. and do it with all the quality you have. It doesn't matter if it's a 5-second, if it doesn't matter if it's a picture. Put all the thought you can into it, whatever it is you do. I wish somebody would have told me that in school.
Absolutely.
If you're working at McDonald's, be the absolute best burger fryer, be the quickest. Dude, that kind of stuff people don't realize. Before I started my business, I was the highest quality in everything I did.
Correct.
Do the best in everything. It doesn't matter. People mocked me.
Oh, I was there.
People gave me a hard time.
Oh, I was there.
Even though I worked hard. Man, if people would just always be on time, be reliable, do what you're supposed to do and a little more, always be happy, you're going to excel past 90+% of people without even thinking about it. You are automatically putting yourself into high value range, even though you might not get a raise. You have become more valuable than everybody else in your environment. You keep doing that in everything you do, you're going to see a huge change in your life.
Absolutely. And
you keep on, you add more value in everything you do with people, you are going to receive more value. People, like, I hear some stories and people are like, dude, I kick butt in this. Now they want to make me a manager. They want to give me a raise. They want to give me more responsibility. And it's like, it's common sense. Do you like going to a restaurant? And when you're getting served, the servers are like, hey, how's it going? What do you want?
no.
Or
It sets the tone.
Hey, how are you guys doing? Welcome in. Hey, just so you know, we got a special on blah, blah, blah. Well-educated, high-quality food, blah. You have that kind of stuff. I mean, you love it. I love the experience. People, when they find out about you, when they're interested in you, there's a restaurant. Unfortunately, I stopped going. The food was good, but I would tip like $10, $20. And they're like, they don't even care. I'm like, hello, what are you here for?
Right.
I give them 20, 30. I mean, I love to tip big, and they don't even care.
That's right.
Guess what? I will not go there anymore, period.
Right.
Because I'm like, I'm not appreciated at all. They don't appreciate their work. I mean, even the food was good. It's like, that piece is missing. Don't let pieces missing in anything.
Yeah.
You know?
And it reminds me of a story of there's an author called John Maxwell, and he talks about he went to this restaurant, and I don't know, I forgot what the town was, but he went to this specific restaurant, and you know, they're ordering to eat, whatever, and he's like, oh, sir, what would you like to drink? And he's like, can I get a Diet Coke? Oh, sorry, sir, we don't have a Diet Coke. Oh, okay, I'll just have a normal Coke. That's okay, right? And then months later, he goes to the same restaurant. You know what? I'm just going to go back to that same restaurant. Wasn't thinking of anything, whatever. And then he came back. He's like, hey, and he's just curious. So maybe I'll ask for a Diet Coke. He's like, hey, can I get a Diet Coke? He's like, sir, we've been waiting for you. We actually saved a 6-pack just for you specifically because I knew you were going to ask. Yeah. And then boom, he served it. You'd think, and then John's like, I'm going to come back here. Because they cared.
Yeah.
Because they actually put the thought. And even though I didn't come for 2 months or whatever time, they still thought about me. Hey, maybe one day this guy's going to come back and ask me for a Diet Coke. And we won't disappoint him.
Yeah.
Gosh, I would go back there in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
that's right.
Who's the manager? Who taught this guy? Right?
That's
I
right.
would ask questions.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, you're making me feel special.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
it's like, yeah.
And that's what Josh has been teaching me too. Believe it or not, now that this is kind of getting into the conversation, is being very tailored, right? We're in the tailor business, right? In the video production business, I'm a tailor.
Yeah, you're working it out exactly their fit.
Josh does auto detailing, but he tailors to that customer. He understands who that person is by personality, because we all have different personality types.
It's like, yeah, I know what they want.
Exactly.
I take them out to their car. I'm like, hey, what do you need done? What's your goal?
That's right. Yep. So.
And deliver on the goal, keep refining it.
That's all. keep testing things.
Yeah.
Don't be an NPC.
Like, yeah. And it's like, think about people in your life that, whatever, your mom, dad, family, whatever. If, there's certain things they repeat that if you tailor well to them, it just makes life smoother.
It does. It really does.
It really does. Things like that. It doesn't have to be just at work,
Yeah.
So, start tailoring for others, and you'll be amazed. Tailor extremely well for others, and you watch other people will come and tailor to you extremely well.
Absolutely.
It's reciprocal. It might not start immediately, but if you start helping people out, being high quality, doing as best you can, people recognize it. It will be inevitable. You will start reaping beneficial things. Work hard, be reliable, and keep on growing. Be willing to change. Be adaptable.
Absolutely.
Traits like that, it's not taught in school, unfortunately, and people are suffering the consequences, and they wonder why. They can't get ahead in different aspects of life, and it comes down to your integrity, and and really what you gotta put yourself in other people's shoes and look at yourself. How do I look to other people?
Right.
How am I being presented to other people? How am I coming across? Not to say like sometimes I don't want to just wear clothing that's undisciplined and goofy or whatever, but I'm to the point now where like I enjoy discipline.
Same here.
On the outside,
Absolutely.
I enjoy being disciplined on the outside and how I look, because I'm serious about how I want people to see me.
Absolutely.
I'm serious about my life. I'm serious, about others.
Absolutely.
I love to help others. I love and think no, I'm not trying to be offensive to anybody who wears like whatever stuff that isn't discipline in attire. But personally, for me, I see an extreme lack of discipline in the world. Now, that's not to say a lot of people that are extremely disciplined on the outside are extremely rude.
Correct.
Too. There's that extreme. So there's balance. So some people are so disciplined on the outside that they're mean.
Absolutely.
And it's like they look down on people that are, a little more lax and everything. I love being lax too, but generally I'll wear stuff that's a little bit tighter.
Yeah. Right.
It's a reflection of the inner world.
That's all it is. I mean, even like I just got a cowboy hat. I've been wearing this thing everywhere. I mean, and most people know me, right? I don't wear cowboy hats. I'm not somebody that has cattle or whatever, a cowboy persona. I actually don't even like. I didn't even like it when I saw the rodeo here in Nevada, in Reno. We have a rodeo every year. I would be like, oh gosh, those people, like, almost like I would be like, oh, they're so fake. Like they would only wear it at that time, but they wouldn't wear it all the time. Right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's the thing that would bother me.
Oh, really?
It would bother me because I see all these people like only wear a cowboy hat when it's the rodeo. But how come they're not wearing it every single day?
They don't enjoy it elsewhere?
Yeah, exactly.
At all?
Why do we have to blend in? Why do we have to act like a certain thing when
according to the environment?
Exactly. Why not break that? And I just wore this because, first of all, I was like, hey, it looks good on you. Okay. All right. I'll check it out. Second, I was like, you know what? It gave me a different kind of persona and a lot of confidence within, because I was like, I had to earn it in a way. It was almost like given to me, like a new, like, because I wake up early now. Like you're saying, discipline, like the cowboy life, they're disciplined. Like they got to get things done tomorrow. They got to get their cattle. They got to get their chickens. They got to get things done regardless of whatever they might even.
So it's actually kind of a feeling of discipline.
Exactly. It does give me a discipline. I get things more done faster and quicker.
Do you?
And I'm like, I'm certain about things. I don't know. There's something about it.
Just feel like.
Yeah, and it's weird.
Put that thing on. I see it over there.
Oh no, I can't because of
you
the headphones. Because of the headphones. Either I would.
Yeah, you would.
But it's like, here, I'll show it off then.
Yeah, show at least.
Give me 1 sec.
Yeah, because you do look, dude, a cowboy out like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. Like This is what makes it look good. Like
Official.
Like the cowboy hat has been really changed my life. Like it sounds ridiculous.
Kind of inside. Yeah.
With it inside, yeah. It's just but it had to happen inside.
So
first before it was outside, because then I would be lying to myself. Like I would try to put like you were saying, some people are very disciplined on the outside, but down deep inside, they don't have a heart.
Yeah.
They don't have like this strong, confident, bold, understanding, wise kind of person, and that's what I see. Now it's like it's in me now. Like the confidence is in me, the certainty is in me. I'm on purpose.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like, being on purpose.
Nice. Yeah, man. No, that's awesome. Like I said, man, it's awesome to see. Been seeing you grow and everything.
Thanks.
And I'm so glad, man, I could share that with you, and you took it and ran, and you're running with stuff like that, and you're taking it from other people, and
we're doing it.
Yeah,
we're finally
we're sharing some of this.
That's right.
With everybody.
Absolutely.
And so
cool. Hey, I'm gonna cut it now. So we've been on the podcast for 1 minute and 23 minutes, and this is Josh Franks. Where can they find you, Josh? Where can they find you? What's you got social media? I don't know. Do you want to be fine? I don't know.
Yeah. So no, if you want to see, I do social quotes. I call it. If you look up Real Joshua Lee on Instagram, you can see a whole bunch of cool social quotes that I've just learned over the years that I posted online. And then stay tuned with your with Glenn's podcast. I'm sure we're going to be doing more.
Absolutely.
You're going to get a lot more in depth. And then I'm sure, if people have questions.
Oh, absolutely.
If you guys have questions, DM him, and we'd love to share, maybe a little different opinion than a lot of people have about different issues,
Yeah.
We love testing even what we believe and what we know.
Absolutely.
And verifying as best all forms of information that we can.
Yeah.
And so look forward to doing some more of this. I'm really glad we're sharing this
with
people.
This is fun.
And
I know, finally. Gosh.
Yeah.
No more excuses.
And I'll just say this for Glenn and both mine's sake, if anybody on here, this is what I told Glenn. If you appreciate the information we're sharing, do us a favor and share it to somebody else.
Absolutely.
Share this kind of stuff because, if you appreciate it, there's other people that'll appreciate it too if you recognize the value.
Absolutely.
So please share it. Please share what Glenn's going to be sharing. I know you're going to be doing a lot more than just with me.
Yeah, no, the believe it or not, I'll have another podcast too. I'll be hosting for a nonprofit as well. So we're setting that up. So I might as well start practicing now, getting that for the Katie Grace Foundation. And honestly, some of the stuff that I have here, not all of it, but I'm going to give her a shout out for that. Like the Katie Grace Foundation has really been supporting my business as well. And her mission, her purpose, and what we're doing, we've been working with her, volunteering.
Yep.
And that's been changing my life completely. And I'm sure with Josh too. And just seeing like the need that there is out in the world. And like I said, like we said in the conversation, like you could just start small. Like, literally start small.
Yeah.
Learning to give.
Yeah, if anybody wants to look up in Reno, the Katie Grace Foundation, this is someone who's she's doing amazing things for the city, beyond what I even knew. Was like possible.
Absolutely.
This is incredible charity that isn't. I always verify. I helped other charities in the past, and I found out that what I gave wasn't going to where it was supposed to be. And it was taken advantage of. And so now I only give when I know what I'm doing is going to where it says it's going. And with Katie Grace Foundation, I can actually see.
True.
And see, touch, and feel where my time, energy, and finances is going to people. And you can go and experience it too. I'm sure she's going to eventually open it up to more people. If they want to help financially, if they want to come and help with her at the warehouses, it's going to be a great opportunity if you want to help the community and people in need. This is a great, verified opportunity. And like I said, don't take my word for it. Verify things for yourself. but this is a great place to start if you want to support the city.
Exactly. So, anyways, with that being said, this is the first episode of the podcast, and thank you for listening.
It's crazy. So many kids come out of college.
You said NPC.
Non-controlled player.
Yeah.
Dang.
NPC. That's what NPCs are. They don't think for themselves. They don't have self-awareness. They're gonna get out of college and they're gonna have that cool piece of paper, and yet they're not. They don't know how to make lasagna. But they're Italian. And they talk about, oh, I'm Italian. My family's Italian, but you know how to make lasagna.
Right, the basics.
So now you're like, and you sit there and you're like, they're probably gonna look at you and be like, what's the big deal about that? And you think about it, it's like, that's like lineage, thousands of years possibly of you had family members. You know, if there's somebody going around preaching, I'm 100% Italian, they can have generations of Italians in their family, and they're the first generation that doesn't know how to make Italian food.
Right.
And they think, oh, what's the big deal? You just lost thousands of years, hundreds of years, whatever it is, of culture, of family ties, of everything, and you don't even realize it because they're so focused on writing the 9-page essay for the English teacher about some bullshit, global warming for the 100th time, right?
Right. It's true.
It's true.
It's absolutely true. You're right.
NPCs.
I've seen that word. I just never knew what it was.
If it's perfect.
That's interesting.
They're not there.
NPCs, huh?